To keep up food production while the farmers had gone to war, the Women's Land Army was set up in 1917 and then reformed in 1939.
It forms part of the voluntary work which women could undertake to support the war effort alongside that of munitions, nursing and women's military services.
In no country are women so thoroughly organised for war.
However, from December 1941, all unmarried single women, widows, were conscripted to join the war effort between the ages of 20 and 30. Eileen joined the Women's Land Army in August 1942. She was based in Birmingham and was unusual in the fact that she actually worked in Warwickshire, so her home county. So as part of her work, she would have undertaken a whole variety of farm work, for example, dairy farming, animal farming, ploughing, threshing. Before joining the Women's Land Army, Eileen worked as an invoice clerk, so you couldn't really get a more stark change in occupation. It was very strenuous, hard manual labour. They were doing digging, they were carrying heavy farm equipment, things which they were unused to before, and some suffered from long-lasting back and joint injuries as a result of that work.
At the beginning of World War II, 70% of Britain's food was imported. By the end of the war, 70% was homegrown.
After the Women's Land Army disbanded, recognition was very delayed. Recognition really culminated in the unveiling of the Women's Land Army and Timber Corps Memorial at the National Memorial Arboretum in October 2014, which is now a permanent memorial for all the women who worked on the land as part of the Women's Land Army during the First World War and the Second World War.